Hey, I'm Daniel, and you're watching another episode of the Filmcraziest Show. My guest for this episode is Nicole Riegel, the writer and director of her first feature film, Holler, a slice of life film set in Ohio, where a young woman named Ruth, played by Jessica Barden, joins a dangerous scrap metal crew in order to help pay for her education, as she's facing a tough choice between she's staying with her family in this small town or going to college. The film is now available to see in select theaters and is also now available on demand as well as digital formats wherever you get your films. So let's get right into the interview. All right, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Daniel.
Cool. So my first question is that it's more of a comment and then it kind of goes into a question. I love that Jessica Barden is so funny that even in this like dramatic role in dramatic world, like she's still able to make the audience laugh. So what was it like writing for her and inserting that sense of humor like amongst the serious topics?
Oh, I'm so glad you picked up on that, Daniel. It was written before she attached to the film, but I knew I wanted someone with sort of a very dry, sarcastic, particular sense of humor that comes out of women in Appalachia, where I'm from. It's a very particular kind of sense of humor, and Jessica has it. And I mean, she can just deliver those one-liners and those zingers, and they're very biting, and they land, and they just sort of fit together. She already has that sense of humor.
Okay. All right, great. Now, so Appalachia, that's like Ohio and those kind of states.
Yeah, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky. It's
Okay, and which one are you from?
I'm from Ohio, Southeast Ohio, where the film was made.
Okay, so is that why this story is so important to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's, I made the film about my own coming of age story, and many aspects of that, and how hard it was for me to go to college, and all of the reasons why. And so I wanted to go back and make the film in my hometown, and use lots of local actors and shoot on location, and just really give voice to the place.
Okay. And the background actors, what was it like casting them for like a small town kind of film? Because like I found the one woman who grabs the cigarette with her tongue was pretty cool.
Oh yes, Darren, I believe is her name, Darren. Yeah, I mean, they were all. I don't like to think of them as background actors. I wanted to bring them to the forefront of the screen, and I really wanted you to see them. That's why they're lensed so closely. And the camera gives attention to all of them, I think, even in factory scenes, and make sure we linger on their faces, and really let people see them and feel the emotion of this place. But I mean, I owe a ton of credit to Carmen Leach and Lanny Thompson, my amazing casting directors who specialize in local casting, or street casting, as some people call it. They went to this town 2 weeks before we filmed the movie. They interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people in the factories, and taped and asked them about their lives, because we cast people to play fictionalized versions of themselves. So we had to find people whose stories already align with the kind of character I'm looking for.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Cool.
it was really fun.
Now, what was it like? The town's like super desolate. So what, like especially during this long winter. So what's it like making that stand out visually?
I mean, we really just filmed the town as is. Um, we I mean, we didn't really have to do much to make it stand out. It just does. I already thought it was beautiful and fascinating. The one thing I did want to tease out of it was the beauty of it. I think it's really beautiful at times to be in that, and fascinating and rich to be in that junkyard, as opposed to maybe just showing like wide shots of the junkyard, a very desaturated color palette, static shots of the scrapyard. That's one way it could be shot, but Holler's shot on film. A lot of it's handheld. very close, evocative shots where the camera is always moving. Very awash in like these very cool blues with true colors and reds, and making it feel a little more alive and visceral.
Okay. Now I'm gonna pick up off of the reds part. Her beanie. Was that written to be that color in the script, or was that more of a costuming decision?
I mean, I didn't write it in the script, but I give very few pointed instructions to the amazing costume designer Sierra Whaley, who's also from Ohio. I told her it had to be red. Ruth's color would be red. So then it's sort of up to her how to, organize all of that into telling story through color. And one thing she did was she costumed Linda and Rhonda, sort of the matriarch, that is these three women within palette. And that's why you see them dressed in these pinks and burgundies, and keeping these women connected through color. But nobody is red except Ruth. And the only other things that are red are the truck or little touches with the town to connect her to her hometown. But I wanted her to have a very singular color that was just her own, to show that no one there is like her, and to assign her a color of passion.
Okay, I love that. Cool. Now, you had mentioned that this is like kind of like your coming of age as well. So I want to ask, like the library books, her stealing library books, is that part of? Did you do that in high school, or did someone do that in high school?
I totally did that in high school. Except
Yeah.
it wasn't Madame Bovary. It was a book about dogs. I forget the title of the book, but I totally swiped a book about dogs, and a book about Tennessee Williams, which I still have on my bookshelf today, and it has the little library sticker on it.
Was it a good
I'm
book?
never giving it back. Or maybe I should just return, and just walk in the high school library and turn it in, decades later.
That would be funny. You should film that if you ever do.
As like a special features to Holler.
Exactly. Now, my last one was just, can you talk a bit about like adapting the short film for Holler from 2016, and what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really adapt it, is the thing. It has
Okay.
the same title, but it takes place in a scrapyard, but then it inspired me to just make something new and different.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't like a true adaptation, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot as a director on that short film.
Okay. And that's why it was like important for this to be your feature debut as well.
Yeah, I learned a lot on it, and I had a blast making it. And then it inspired this new, more personal story that I wanted to tell.
All right, awesome. Cool. So I think that was my time. So Nicole Riegel, writer, director, and producer on Holler, thank you for chatting with me on the Filmcraziest Show.
Thank you, Daniel. Bye.